Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Grisham. Welcome to Face to Face. These two men will square off in the quarterfinals of the last heavyweight standing tournament, February 7th in the Netherlands. To my right, the most busiest man in all of glory, Miloš Cvjetićanin. Over 47 minutes of fight time. You fought 8 times this year. And to my left, Sofian Laidouni, one of the hottest fighters in all of glory. He's won 6 of his last 7, including wins over Jamal bin Sadiq and Levi Richters. This should be an enthralling match. What were your thoughts when you saw that you would be fighting him in the first round?
Well, hello everybody. For me, I thought about my coach, and we talked about Sophian. Like he's one of our favorite fighters, like greatest technicians. You know, one of the most dangerous guys in the glory today. You know, he almost beat Rico. Then he beat also one of the heaviest guys, Kachab. Now Levi Richters, and you know he's really amazing. So we thought about it. It could be a great matchup. So this is what happened. Now we're gonna see what's gonna happen between us. You know, I have my own style. He has his own style. In my opinion, it's perfect. So I think it's going to be a really great matchup.
You think it's going to be a great matchup, but
yeah.
Are you confident you win it?
Yeah, I'm looking for, of course, to win because, you know, I think my style is different here in glory. Yesterday was a different story, but let's forget about it because it was yesterday. You know, I think my style is, you know, the most, let's say, aggressive and the smartest and like the freestylist in the whole glory.
And what about you? What did you think when you saw you would be fighting Miloš?
Donc moi je suis très content de boxer Milos parce que c'est un grand boxeur. Et il a un style atypique, il n'est pas comme les autres, il n'est pas puissant, c'est pas un lourd, il bouge énormément, il est explosif. Donc je pense que c'est un des plus techniques du Glory et moi aussi. Donc ça ferait une très belle opposition technique.
You've beaten a lot of bigger guys. I mentioned Jamal bin Sadiq, you mentioned Kachab. Well, how does it feel for you to fight a little guy compared to those guys?
Après ouais, c'est sûr qu'il est moins grand que certains comme Jamal, etc. Mais c'est un adversaire, très fort. Donc même s'il est petit, il bouge énormément, il est explosif.
You seem to have found more power as a heavyweight. What happens if you land a clean shot to someone who's a light heavyweight?
Ben, on verra. Après, il n'y a que le ring qui parle. Certes, j'ai pris en puissance et voilà, on verra si ça paye sur le ring. Ça va payer.
Your response to what you've seen from him power-wise?
Well, what I think is that everybody can beat anybody with less power or more power, you know. punch in the right spot is punch in the right spot, so it can end any fight in my opinion, if you ask me. But you know, about this, I think our fight is going to be extremely interesting, you know, because we are both two interesting fighters. Probably there's going to be knockout. It could be going his way or on my way. It doesn't matter. But what am I trying to do? I'm not trying to self-fight with the words. I'm trying to self-fight with the fight, you know. So what I said last time, my art is inside the ring, not outside. So I think it's also for him too. So I think he's going to do also a great job, and me too. And I think we're going to sell the fight for the crowd.
Moi, je suis même sûr qu'on fera le combat de la soirée, c'est sûr. Entre deux styles différents et un peu similaires, on va dire. Je suis sûr qu'on fera le combat de la soirée.
You saw him fight at Glory Collision 8. He looked fantastic in his first fight, knocking out Jim Caceres. And then in the final against Michael Boapea, just seems like he couldn't get going. What happens if he fights you like he did against Michael Boapea? What will you do?
Bien sûr que j'ai vu, j'étais là, je l'ai encouragé, je l'ai même mis en story parce que Milo c'est quelqu'un que j'apprécie. Après voilà, dans le ring ça sera différent. Certes, il a fait un très beau combat contre Jem, c'était pas lui pour moi contre Boapea, c'était pas le Milos qu'on a connu. Mais voilà, c'est un très bon boxeur et ça arrive à tout le monde d'avoir une défaite et de pas être dedans sur un combat.
You told me you just couldn't get going against Michael Boapea. What went wrong that night, and how do you know that it's not going to happen again when you face this man?
Well, I don't want to talk about like fighting excuses for losses, you know, because it's stupid, you know. But Boapea is a good fighter. He put something good in the ring that night. But you know, I didn't cut weight for a long time. Maybe that was the reason. You know, maybe I cooled down in between 2 fights. I didn't do anything. So, you know, just in the beginning of the second fight, I didn't have power. But let's forget that. Michael Boapea was better that night, so the victory is his, you know. I'm glad that Sophian says that in our fight he knows what Milo is going to come into the ring. I respect that. So that's what's going to happen, you know. So I'm not making the same mistake. It's heavyweight. I'm not cutting weight. I'm not losing strength. So I think that's it.
So how you've seen him fight? You said you appreciate how good he is, but what do you have to do to win stylistically? How do you beat him?
That's a hard question because you know when I see him fighting, he's amazing technician, you know. He knows what he's doing. He has a great movement, you know. So I also kind of have a good movement, you know. I'm trying to get in, to get out, you know. I'm trying to be good in any distance, and you know, and in clinch and in distance. So as a tactics against him, I can't tell you now what is it, but I think I'm gonna try to, you know, to put my style up on him. So we'll see what he has to answer.
We've seen him when he's on the front foot pressuring fighters like he did against Caceres. He's very, very dangerous. Are you going to be able to back him up, or are you willing to fight going backwards?
Bah, moi, c'est simple. J'ai montré beaucoup que je savais défendre, mais en boxer en reculant, et je sais boxer aussi en avançant. Je l'ai prouvé contre Primatchov. Donc mon but à moi, c'est de le surprendre. Et voilà, donc vous aurez la surprise le 7 février.
You're such a nice guy and you seem to like Milos. Is it better when you fight someone that you don't know or that maybe you dislike rather than someone that you're friendly with?
Bien sûr, parce qu'on est des sportifs et c'est une très bonne personne. Des sportifs, pardon, c'est une très bonne personne, donc je le respecte énormément. Après, voilà, le business, c'est le business. Dans le ring, il n'y a plus de copains, on se fera la guerre. Et une fois que ça va sonner, ben, on redeviendra copains, on ira manger ensemble. Je l'invite s'il veut. Et moi, je suis là pour gagner et pour tout rafler cette année.
Okay, you guys have been very, very nice to each other. Before we go here, I want you to tell me one bad thing about him, one negative thing about him that's going to get you going and get you fired up for your fight February 7th.
It's hard to find a bad thing in the man such as him, but you know, what can I say to you is this sport saved my life, you know, and I respect also my opponents in this sport and how I behave. I'm not trying to be a good guy, you know. Even if I ever had bad intentions or evil plans, I'm gonna tell to the crowd and to all the people. But what am I doing? I'm gonna be gentleman outside, and inside the ring I'm gonna be a killer, and he knows it, and that's why I know that me and him, we're gonna put our lives into the ring and show to the crowd what the best kind of fight is gonna happen that night.
Je suis d'accord avec lui. Après, moi, t'as vu, j'ai un petit garçon, j'ai un fils à rendre fier, et voilà, quand je suis dans le ring, c'est pour lui. Donc, je peux pas perdre.
Okay, let's end with your official prediction. I know you think you're going to win. How are you going to beat him? You going to knock him out?
Victoire.
How?
Je suis là pour gagner. Je suis là pour gagner. Peu importe la façon, je suis là pour gagner.
What about you?
Yeah, I can say same words. I know people ask to say for us, I'm gonna knock you out, I'm gonna kill you. But let's say I'm also looking for the victory, knockout or the points. You know, I'm gonna put my style. You know, that's gonna be enough for the crowd to stand from their seats and, you know, to cheer up for both of us. So that's it. But you know, it would be stupid if I said that he's gonna win. I'm gonna win definitely. You know, in my opinion. So what is most important, that we're gonna put a really, really big show in the ring that night. I promise you that. I promise you that.
On est des athlètes. On est préparés pour gagner tous les deux. Il est préparé, je suis préparé. Donc on va se faire la guerre et puis on fera le plus beau combat de la soirée.
And I can tell you that our fight is going to be most dangerous and most interesting than all of these guys that are trying to sell fights before fights. You know, everybody's talking, putting sunglasses on, trying to be somebody else, you know. Nobody's being themselves, you know, inside. You know, everybody's afraid to show their real face. You know, I see him, he can do it, I can do it. I don't care what anybody thinks about, like, me calling him out or he calling me out. You know, I'm going to put everything I have inside the ring. Mm-hmm. He's also going to do it. And that's what's going to happen in the February. You know, I don't care about those guys selling those fights on these wrong ways. That's my opinion. I think that's also his opinion.
Et pour moi, faut toujours se méfier de ceux qui parlent le moins. Et lui, il parle pas beaucoup, moi je parle pas beaucoup. Donc
yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, you've got to win 3 fights in one night. Wouldn't you be more apt to go for the knockout in that first round fight rather than going the full 3 rounds and taking it easy? I mean, if you get this guy in trouble, you're going for the finish, are you not? Yeah,
probably. Of course. We are all seeking for knockout. You know, I'm always looking to take the head of the body. You know, with my bombs. That's plan. You saw yesterday with Caceres. I didn't even touch him in the head. He was done. You know, I've just proven that our fight before that wasn't, you know, accident or luck for me. You know, I'm looking forward to rip off the body, to rip off the heart of my opponent. You know, to take his head off. You know, so that's what I'm gonna put in the ring.
All right, so
nothing personal.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Miloš Cvjetićanin, Sofian Laidouni, the first quarterfinal, February 7th, last heavyweight standing. Good luck, guys.